Welcome here on a Thursday, beginning of the trading session in the US. The US session has got started now. Wall Street opened about 25, 30 minutes ago. And just bear with me. I'm looking to see if I'm live on Facebook and live on YouTube at the same time. And if you can hear me. Yeah, okay. Now we're good. Now we're all good. Just want to be sure.
And if you can hear me.
Okay. Yeah, if you can hear me okay, I think you can. I've got sound coming through my mobile phone. And just leave a comment that you can hear me. Type 1 or whatever in the box, wherever you're watching from. And let's go over and have a look at the calendar at the chart. We'll look at the calendar in just a moment. And let's look at the chart. And here we are with gold. Oh, everybody loves to trade gold. It makes big moves, doesn't it? If you got in early this week, like this is Monday, had a huge move up on Monday, another huge move up on Tuesday, and then this is yesterday, and this is typical. Just remember this, guys. When the FOMC is coming out late in the day, then you'll probably get sideways movement because the entire market, Asian Pacific, European, US, they're all waiting for this FOMC. And so you got sideways movement. That's just a candlestick sandwich, you could call it. And there's not going to be much going on. So yesterday was a pretty quiet day, but then today it started off really great. We got the Asian Pacific market took off and just broke our first resistance level there at 3402, 3403, and then started to fall back down. Then Europe and the London session, it just turned around completely. The bears just took control. The bulls had control early in the day, and then the bears took control. And then we've gone sideways for a few hours. This is the 1 hour chart you're looking at here. And then the last hour, about 1.5 hours ago, we had some news come out. And that was good news for the US. So why did gold go up? Good news for the US, gold should go down. And so this is a good reason why it's not always a good idea to trade the news, because this can happen. Sometimes the news comes out and it's good news, and then the opposite reaction is what you get. But now we are starting to see it pull down. What was the news? Well, let me go over to investing.com. And let's see, you can see that on the screen there. Okay, investing.com. And the news was about the initial jobless claims. And this comes out every Thursday. It's on a weekly basis. And so we had the actual was less than forecast. And in this case, that's good for the US economy. You can see it's green color. And that what that means is there are fewer people claiming money from the government because they don't have a job. And the projection was 231K, and now it's 228K, so less than expected. But I can tell you, this was a low forecast. This was a low forecast, so it wasn't surprising that the number came in good. All right, so the price action we've been seeing might have already been built into the market. Normally you get, but just remember, guys, that you have good news on the U.S. economy, gold should go down. Well, it didn't. So that's a reason why I don't trade the news. Okay, it's not always a good idea to trade the news. I know some people love to trade the news. Good news, gold will go down. Sell, 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 and then you get whacked. Okay, so that's it for the news. That was all there was for today. At least for the U.S. economy. Earlier today, the London session, the Bank of England came out and they lowered the interest rate by 25 basis points. It was 4.5, now it's 4.25, and that was good news for the UK economy. And if you look at the pound US, it went up as a result of that. So one thing I wanted to show you was this tab here. You see, this is the Fear and Greed Index. It's interesting to look at this. Don't base your trades on this, but it's interesting to look at it. Just last week, 2 weeks, 1 month ago, this was at 3. I mean, it was way over here, almost off the chart. Markets are just freaking out. Stocks are crashing. Gold is going to 3,500, and just crazy times. But now what we're seeing, the needle is moving over. Now we're at 56. So what this tells us is that the general market sentiment is a little bit more optimistic, less fearful for sure, a little bit more optimistic. Stocks are coming up. I see the S&P 500 has moved up 200 points during the U.S. session already, and gold is just kind of sideways or up and down. So what this means is the market sentiment will mean that investors are less likely to be going for safe havens like gold and the Japanese yen, the Swiss franc, that sort of thing. Just an interesting thing to check on once in a while. The fear and greed index, just Google that, fear and greed index, and you'll find it. So let's go back to our chart here, gold, and let's see what we've got. We've got support, and this last hour between the 1 hour that just finished, the bulls tried to keep pushing gold up, but now you can see we've got a gravestone doji there, and so it looks like gold is starting to continue down from where it was going earlier today. And so our support level, if you want to sell, 33.42. That's where it's going, 33.42. Now, remember, I'm not a CPA. This is not financial advice. I'm not suggesting or recommending you take these trades. This is just strictly for educational purposes. It's up to you to manage your own account and to use good risk management. And of course, if you take a trade, always use a stop loss. All right, protect your capital. But it looks like it would be prudent to get the indication we have here from this gravestone doji, which means the bears have taken over and started to push the price back down, and it is starting to go back down now. And the first place it will go, always ask yourself, where is it going? Well, it's going back to support, and that's 33.42. Now, if it breaks below support, then where will it go? Will it go to the next support level? And that's all that Forex does. It goes from level to level. All right. Well, the next level is 33.21. So it might go down there. It touched that earlier today and then came back up. And so if it goes down to 33.21, then it could, if there's that much momentum, then it could come down to the next level, which is about 32.80. But I don't expect we'll see that. We might see it come down to this first support level here, 33.20. 33.20. Right now, there seems to be not much momentum, but usually that will kick in a little bit later, maybe as the U.S. session starts to close. Not really sure. We don't see much going on right this moment, but I do expect that gold will start to continue its bearish direction for the rest of the U.S. session. Now, maybe towards the close, at the close of the U.S. session, very late in Southeast Asia, you might get some pullback, some bullish direction. So what we have on the day chart is still bullish. Gold is still bullish. I mean, look at this. There's no question gold is bullish, okay? And on the 4-hour chart, though, it's neutral because of this big drop that we've had in the last 2 days. It came down today. Just today, it's dropped almost $90. That's 900 pips. All right, so because of that huge drop, we've moved into neutral territory on the shorter time frame, the H4 chart. Okay, but still bullish on the day chart. And long term, I'm still bullish. Gold is going to continue to be a great asset to have, and it's going to continue to higher prices. But we don't know what the catalyst will be. All right, we don't know what's going to make it. Maybe, the president will change his policy tomorrow or the day after, and then the market gets all shook up and rattled like they do when he speaks, and then we'll see gold shoot up again. We don't know. We just have to be patient and let the price tell us what it's going to do. So let me just scan through the major pairs here real quickly. And the USD JPY has gone up. Okay, it went down the same, just opposite of gold. All right, gold is paired with the US dollar, so the US dollar JPY is opposite movement. So the USD JPY went up with the European and London session, and now it's starting to go back down. Then the Euro US, see what that's doing. Okay, that's just kind of struggling along, staying at $1.13, which has been for a long time. Got a big sandwich here, big candlestick sandwich, up and down, up and down. It just shows you how much uncertainty there is in the market. Then the odd US, and kind of the same thing, not really too much going on. It dropped down earlier today, but now starting to move back up. And the New Zealand US would look pretty much the same. The trade's very similar to the odd US. Then the pound US, as I told you, they had the good news on the lowering the interest rate from the Bank of England. So that was a really good move when that news came out. And then the USD CAD, back up to what, $1.38, a little bit high. I do expect to see that start to come back down, but for the moment, for the time being, it is what it is. So of course, I always like to look at the DXY, and we'll probably see that has been coming up a little bit today. Yep. Okay, opposite of gold, but now, okay, starting to come back down. And we're going to see continuing decline of the US dollar. There's no question. I mean, it's just normal. You get these retracements, okay? But since the beginning of the year, this is just a 1 hour chart that we're looking at here. So it's been kind of a sandwich, a lot of sideways movement, showing the uncertainty with the market, and the US dollar is up and down, kind of a roller coaster. But if you go back to January on the longer term chart, then you'll see we've just been on a steady decline with the US dollar, and I do expect to see the dollar dropping even lower. Right now, trading on the index, DXY index, it's at 99.8. So it has been down a little bit lower, got down to 99.1. And so we could see even lower numbers on the US dollar, on the DXY. And then before I close out, we always, of course, like to look at Bitcoin. And yeah, Bitcoin. For all the Bitcoin hodlers, it almost hit 100,000. We had a high of about 99,860. So it almost hit 100,000. It's likely to do that today or tomorrow. I expect we'll hit 100,000 and then break above that during this week. So good news for the Bitcoin hodlers. And remember, I don't trade Bitcoin. I'm not going to give you a signal or anything on Bitcoin. I just buy on a regular basis, having as an investment a digital asset for the future. But Bitcoin has really been on a tear, especially the last 3 days since Monday. A little bit sideways yesterday. That was Tuesday. A little bit sideways yesterday, and then another big move up today from 96,000 to almost 100,000. So it moved almost $4,000 in one day. Well, that's Bitcoin. All right, let's go back and see what gold is doing. Has it started to drop? No, look at that. Okay. Don't chase the candles. All right, I don't have any trade open. I'm not trading gold at the moment. I had a good one. I made a good buy earlier today in the Asian Pacific session, and then I set out during the London and European session, and I'm going to sit this one out today also. Getting a lot of indecision, a big bullish candle and then a bearish candle, and now what looks like might be a bullish candle, but it's still early in the hour. All right, so you might want to just be careful, let the market settle down, and maybe towards the end of the U.S. session, look at taking a trade. But I do expect that we'll see gold will continue and drop down to possibly 33.21. Okay, that's it for this session, guys. Thanks for joining in and following along. Don't forget, if you're on Facebook, to like, love, and share. And leave any comments if you're watching on YouTube. I will get back to you. I appreciate that very much. And be sure and like on YouTube also, and subscribe to my channel. Okay, and stay tuned for this next Sunday. I have decided to go ahead and continue with the regular weekly analysis, which I do every Sunday when I give my pending orders for gold and the major U.S. pairs. All right, wherever you are in the world, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again same time tomorrow.